This is the homework helper for Chapter 10, Section 2 in the 7th grade workbook, Volumes of Prisms and Cylinders. So let's go ahead and take a look at 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are both prisms. So if we're talking about prisms, we're using the B times H formula. Remember, B is the area of the base. Capital B is the area of the base. And we're multiplying that by the height, how tall the entire prism is. So as we look at what we have here in number 2, we've got the base of the prism being one of the triangles there. Remember, the base is the thing there's 2 of. So the base has to be one of the triangles here. So find the area of that base. We're doing half of 5 times 9. I'm doing half of 5 times 9 because the formula for the area of a triangle says take a half, multiply it by its own base, and multiply it by its height. And remember, those have to make a right angle. So I had to pick the 5 and the 9. So that's half of 45. Half of 45 is 22.5. Then I've got the height. The height is how tall the entire prism is. Well, right now it's laying down, so the height is going to be this 10. You can picture it standing up, standing on one of the triangles. The height would then be 10. So to find the volume of this entire prism, I'm going to take 22.5 and multiply it by 10, and that's easy enough because that's just going to scoot the decimal one over, and we end up with 225 yards cubed. And you'll use the same approach in 5 and 6 because those are also triangular prisms. Now as we take a look at number 3 is a rectangular prism. So you use the same approach here in solving 1 and 4. To start off, you're going to find the area of the base. Well, the base is what it's standing on, so that's the 3.7 and 2.1 length and width rectangle at the bottom. When I multiply those two together, 3.7 times 2.1, multiply those out, I get 7.77. And I'm going to go ahead and multiply that by the height, which is 7.4. So when I take 7.77 and multiply it by 7.4, I get 57.498, and that's inches cubed. Now as we go ahead and take a look at number 7 is switching it up to a cylinder. So as you can see now, we're going to use the other formula you saw, pi r squared h. So it says here that the travel mug is a cylinder that's 9 centimeters wide. So that means all the way across the mug is 9 centimeters. Well, I don't want all the way across the mug because that's, of course, the diameter of the circle. I just want the radius. So I'm going to cut that in half, and that's going to be 4.5. So it's 3.14 times 4.5 squared times my height. Well, they still told us there it's 15 centimeters tall, so h is 15. So I'm going to do 3.14 times 4.5 times 4.5, which is my 4.5 squared, times my 15. When I do that, I end up with 953.775, and that's going to be centimeters cubed. All right, we'll take a look at one more here, number 8. Number 8, we're looking at the composite figure, which, as you can see there, is a triangular prism connected to a cylinder. So let's start with the triangular prism here. Again, the base of a triangular prism is whatever there's 2 of, and even though it's kind of funky, it's a lot different looking than what we did earlier, the base is one of the triangles. So the base here, we'll use this one in the back because it's drawn there. Need the base and the height, so that's going to be my 20 and my 13. Remember, the base and the height have to meet at a right angle. So that's half of 20 times 13 there, just for the base of that guy. When we're looking at this, we're not talking about 13 here being the base of the whole thing. 13 is the base of just the triangle. So it's half of 20, which is 10, and 10 times 13 is 130. And then the formula says I'm going to take that 130 and multiply it by how tall this whole prism is. Well, if that's the bottom, then it's kind of like that. So this guy is 7 tall. So I'm going to take and multiply that 130 by 7. When I do that, I end up with 910. All right, let's come back over here to the cylinder. Cylinder, pi r squared h. So 3.14 times the radius squared. Well, they gave us the radius is 5 squared, times the height, how tall this is 8 tall. So 3.14 times 5 squared times 8, that's the same as 3.14 times 25 times 8, and that's 628, and that's going to be inches cubed for it. And then we're going to add those two guys together to find my composite shape's volume there. And when I add these two guys together, I get 1538 inches cubed. So the composite figure has a volume of 1,538 inches cubed.